Jake Briningstool. Can we just get the guy a football? We just give him the football. I hope we will. Welcome to Clemson Football Live. Spring practice kicked off this week. I've had some videos that I've talked about Phil Maffa. I've talked about Cade Klubnik. Notice I'm not worried about the defense whatsoever. And today we're going to talk about Jake Briningstool. But first, hey, if you like what I'm doing, I hope you'll subscribe. Pass it along to your friends and those who even just maybe they're not even a Clemson football fan. They just like talking or they like talking college football. I talk about other teams on here as well because guess what? What goes on in the world of college football actually affects Clemson, whether we want to believe it does or not. So over the past few years, we have seen the woes of the Clemson offense, and I'm not going to go diving into them. We've saw players who were underutilized. One of the players is Phil Maffa. It took injury for Milfafa. That is hilarious. Y'all should pick at me for that one. Milfafa. He's a new kicker we got. Anyway, I'm not going to go any farther with that one. But Phil Maffa finally got his chance after Clemson had injuries. And what did he do? He seized the moment. He led Clemson to victory. He was the Gator Bowl MVP with 4 touchdowns. We know what he did to Notre Dame. But one of those players who is closely connected to Phil in the sense that Clemson has barely used him is Jake Briningstool. All 6'6" of this guy has been playing fantastic football. He was one of our top wide receivers last year. I know he's a tight end, one of our top receivers last year. But we continue to underutilize the guy. I mean, this is a cat that when the football is thrown even, kind of close to him, he goes and he gets it. There was one play, and I cannot remember who it was against, but I want to say it was against Georgia Tech. Cade threw it into about triple coverage. Guess who went up and got it? Jake. Now, Jake has done this before. Jake was the leading wide receiver against, receiver. I keep saying wide receiver. The coffee's not working. The leading receiver against Miami. You know, the game that we blew a 10-point lead. Yeah, he was actually the leading receiver there. And the guy can just, he can just play football. Now, Clemson has had a long line of tight ends. Or I say long line. We've had some really good tight ends that's played over the years. And you have to go way back to my hometown of Seneca, South Carolina, to Benny Cunningham. Yes, Benny Cunningham played for the Pittsburgh Steelers. A little side note, Benny used to visit my next door neighbor. So I would walk out in my backyard, and there is Benny Cunningham, the great Benny Cunningham. God rest his soul. Then you move on into the Dabo Swinney era, kind of the changing of the guard between he and Tommy Bowden. We had Dwayne Allen that came out and played. Dwayne Allen is just a fantastic tight end. I know I'm probably going to forget someone here. Please leave in the comments section someone that I forgot. But especially recently, you have Jordan Leggett, the infamous catch on the historical drive against Alabama in that 2016 national championship. Last-second drive. Last few-minute drive. Davis Allen last year. The guy was underutilized as well. He's playing, I believe, for the Rams. I don't know what city they're in now because they keep moving. They're in Los Angeles, I know, but I'm like to take jabs at them for that. But Jake Briningstool is, in my opinion, one of the top tight ends in all of college football. Now, I'm going to show you his stats, and this is from the Clemson Tiger site. And I just want you to check out these numbers and see how the guy has been used, but he has been, as I said, underutilized. So look at this, 2021, 2022. He's a freshman, 3 receptions, 67 yards, 1 touchdown. Now, that's during the DJ era. Then you get to 2022, 2023. 25 receptions, 285, 4 touchdowns. And then last year, look at this. 50 receptions, 498 yards, 5 touchdowns. He had a long reception of 50 yards. And remember, he was the leading receiver against Miami. Now, here's my problem. And here's what I would like to see happen. Our offense, and we got to go back to this, our offense is struggling. That's a duh. You know that. It's a duh statement. Now, trying to figure out how to fix the problems, how to get the ball to this person or to that person, we need to quickly understand one thing. You have to use what is there. What do I mean by that? Well, first, Phil Maffa is on Clemson's offense. At this point, there's really two people who has been at Clemson for a while. I know you could say, well, Tyler Brown did really, really good last year. Tyler Brown showed up out of nowhere as a freshman, 3-star, last-second recruit out of Greenville, South Carolina. I am far from knocking him. But Tyler Brown only played one season. Jake Briningstool has been there for 3. Phil Maffa has been here at Clemson for what, 3 seasons, 4 seasons? So these guys have been there. They've played second fiddle to someone. But when they've been given a chance, they've more than produced. So my point here is, if you're going to try to fix Clemson's offense or mobilize it to start fixing some of these problems, you have to start with what's working. Phil Maffa's working. Jake Briningstool is working. So you have to work the ball to them in some form or fashion. And by working the ball to one, you're freeing up the other, and you're also, I know this is going to be shocking, it's almost like it's strategy of some sort, you're freeing up other players. Now, I know Bryant Wesco has been burning it up this week in practice. He looks good. I hope he stays healthy. He's still a freshman. We don't want to put everything on him. I know TJ Moore, everybody has high hopes for him. He's not an early enrollee. But my point in all of this is you already have pieces of the puzzle here. Pieces of the puzzle that has been tried and true, that has been on the Clemson football team now for at least 3 years, and that's Phil Maffa and Jake Briningstool. And this video is to say, get the football to Jake. Find the wrinkles in the playbook to get the ball to Jake. I believe wholeheartedly that if Jake Briningstool makes it to the NFL next year and he gets into the right system, and you know how that works. That's just life. He gets into the right system. Do not be shocked if Jake Briningstool ends up becoming an incredible tight end in the NFL. I'm not saying he's going to be Travis Kelce. I'm not going to say that he's going to be George Kittle. But what I am saying is, don't be shocked when this guy goes in and he does really good things in the next few years if he makes it to the NFL, and I believe he will. But he is wearing orange and white. And while we're trying to fix whatever is going on with the offense, notice the defense is totally fine. It's the greatest rebuttal to Clemson's greatest problem is not using the transfer portal. If the transfer portal was a problem, it would affect Clemson's team as a whole, not just one side of the football. Come on, use some logic here. It's coaching, and we know that, but I'm not beating that drum today. I'm saying that if coaching wants to fix these issues, you have to get the ball to guys like Jake Briningstool. Once again, he's 6'6". And it's not like he's a big body who doesn't have hands. This guy can go out and possess the football. And you have some pesky little loudmouth 5'10" defensive back out of Florida who's running his mouth, and he's, they're some of the cockiest that you've ever met in your entire life, and you have to be cocky to be a defensive back. You got to have that, because you can end up out there all by yourself, as Lee Corso used to say on the EA Sports games. You might find yourself out there on an island all alone. So I get it why these guys are so confident. Why are they trash talkers? I get it. But it's hard to guard a guy who is 6'6", athletic, and has great hands. And so I am just saying, and you see it on the thumbnail, Jake Briningstool, just get him the football. And you go, well, I don't know how we do that. Watch videos. Watch the strategy Andy Reid has to get Travis Kelce the football. And everybody knows Travis Kelce's getting the football. Well, he's Travis Kelce. Listen, I'm not saying Jake Briningstool is Travis Kelce. I'm not saying that. But I am saying this guy's very talented. Let's go on down the road to a place that we don't like to talk about. The Georgia Bulldogs are playing championship football. You might hate them. They might be like a abscessed tooth to you. You might want to talk trash. Kirby has 2 championships in the past 3 seasons, and he's 3 points away from possibly contending for another one. This year, you won't be able to get away from them. There's 12 teams. They've tripled the size of the playoffs. So he would have made it in last year had the 12-team playoff. Remember, I'm not a Georgia fan whatsoever. But they had this guy named Brock Bowers. Ever heard of him? Guy, he's dangerous. And people knew the football was going to him. And guess what? They still couldn't stop him from getting the football. My point? Take whatever voodoo that they were using to get the football to him or go to the big leagues with Travis Kelce and figuring out how to get the football there to him. And you go, well, hold on. Well, Brian. Georgia, and we don't want to say this, their offense is better than Clemson's. Their offensive line is better. Oh, Kansas City, this idiot. Brian's an idiot. He doesn't understand anything here. He's got Patrick Mahomes throwing him the football, and he's got all this talent around Travis Kelce. And they still get the ball to Travis Kelce. Everybody knows that's the main target. Tyreek Hill leaves, football team still wins championships. Travis Kelce. Brock Bowers, he has all the they have all this talent around them. Get the football to Brock. That's what Clemson needs to do this year. They need to put a point of emphasis. And I'm not talking about an extra 5 targets. I'm talking about you need to get the football to Jake Briningstool, take some of the pressure off of these freshman wide receivers who are coming in, take some of the pressures off of Antonio Williams, who was injured last year, but when he was not injured, he was dropping balls. Tyler Brown, people knows about him now, so they're going to account for him being on the field. Troy Stellato, I hope he can stay healthy. The guy catches everything that's thrown near him. That's a great possession guy that you need to work into. But right now, Mr. Consistency is Jake Briningstool. Get him the football. We'll have a few more wins. We'll give these other receivers a chance because the defense will have to account for him. Period. Folks, thank you so much for joining me. I want to know your thoughts. Am I right? Am I wrong? Throw your comments down here. Tell me what you think about Jake Briningstool. Tell me what you think about what we need to do to get the ball spread around to open up the offense and actually score some. I know that's odd that an offense would want to score some points and more than just move the football. Tell me what you think. Leave it in the comments below. I hope you'll subscribe if you like what I'm doing. Pass this along. Folks, it's always good to be a Tiger. Good, bad, or somewhere in between there. Folks, I'm glad you're here. As always, go Tigers.